company culture. Understanding, appropriately selecting, and engaging your employees. And, of course, learning the special code of technologically clued-in commerce, including social media, how to respond, and when, in fact, to keep your mouth, or your terminal, actually, shut. All of which I'll cover as we move through this book. Forearmed is forewarned. It was behavioral scientist Nicolas Guigon who proved the power, literally speaking, of touch. He demonstrated it definitively, and a bit creepily, I might add. His research experiments showed that giving a light touch on the arm nearly doubles your chance of getting what you want, convincing someone to join you in charity work, getting the phone number of an attractive stranger you've spotted on the street, getting the quiet newcomer in the meeting to take on a thankless project. And most relevant to our subject, he proved that this tap can help convince a stranger to participate in a supermarket taste test, and ultimately to buy your product. Before we get too dependent on Guigon's work, I feel obliged to note that Guigon's research strays into some curious territory, such as determining, for female hitchhikers, the ideal bust size to entice a male driver to stop. Yes, the correlation is exactly the one you'd expect, which maybe doesn't say much for the subtlety of men's brains, research subject or researcher alike. So I'm not going to be using the full range of Guigon's research in this book. Of course, we can't actually touch our customers on the arm. It's not, as far as I know, possible to do over the internet, and it's prone to misinterpretation if you do it in person. Yet, figuratively speaking, we do need to touch our customers if we're going to provide memorable customer service. And teaching your customers, is what this book's about. I'm going to show you how to succeed at touching customers while keeping your technological edge, as well as how to make that touch more effective through your technological edge. You'll also learn how to use the right technology, people, and company culture to ensure that your touch is feather light, not intrusive or more than the customer wants, and always and only when the customer wants it. The goal in all this is to touch customers in a way that builds true customer loyalty you can bank. The stakes are high since the advent of the internet, and most specifically the broad use of the World Wide Web starting in the mid-1990s. There's been a dramatic transformation of the competitive landscape. The changes wrought by these new communication and distribution channels are in many ways revolutionary, and they're causing disruptions akin to those of past revolutions. For a parallel, look at the changes of the mid-19th century. During this period, the stability of rural and village life was thrown into disarray due to a host of technological advances, sound familiar? Including those making it possible to preserve and transport food. Customers could now purchase edibles from across the country or around the world. The farmer in New England who had been able to count on a captive local market for whatever would graze or grow in his stony fields was now competing against topsoil-rich Illinois and lamb-friendly New Zealand. The result was a mass abandonment of farms throughout the region. The transformation was striking. Go for a walk in the woods of New Hampshire or Vermont and you'll still see the proliferation of old stone walls and foundations that attest to the abandoned farms and homesteads of this era. Or just remember the poetry you hopefully learned in high school. This New England exodus is the backstory of Robert Frost's stuck-in-his-ways neighbor who's still trying to mend that fence. He doesn't realize times have changed, and the fence, at most, is now preventing runaway trees. There are no cattle anymore to contain. You can't afford to be similarly left behind by today's transformational technologies. So many things have changed and continue to change in the world of commerce. For example, a very important example actually, our sense of timeliness. What was plenty fast this time last year feels draggy now to the very same customers because of changing expectations brought by mobile technology, social media-induced restlessness, and the incredible efficiency of vendors like Amazon.com. It's crucial to invest brain cells, time, and money to keep up